party people. How you guys doing? It's Sunday morning. Hope you're having a great morning, a great day. To all you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Um, yeah. So I was just wondering one question. Why is manga so freaking addictive? And why are American comics like that? Like, what's the deal? I mean, they are, but I don't know. I I started reading One Punch Man, and 8 issues later, I'm like, I just want to keep reading, but I got to make comics. I mean, these are 16 to 22 page stories, and each issue goes by like so quick, but it's so enjoyable. Like, it doesn't seem like it's rushed. It just seems fun. One Punch Man, the thing that I was like, the design seemed too simple to me, so it took me a while to finally read it, but everybody said it was so good. And don't let that deceive you. Don't let the One Punch Man circle oval head deceive you. Like, it's freaking awesome. It's an amazing comic, and it's like monster of the week type of thing, and the plot's starting to thicken, and it starts out really simple. The first few issues are just a few different monsters, and then now the plot is starting to become like really interesting. And it's interesting because it's like an apathetic hero who just kind of does it for the fun of it. And he was apathetic before he got these powers, so you can kind of see this is what he ends up being if not provoked. And now he's starting to find reasons for things, and I can see that sparks are starting to come in. And then, like, there's this new character they brought in who is like super passionate about what he does. He's got tons of purpose behind everything he does, and he's seeking, One Punch Man to be, so he could be learn from him. And just like, it's such a cool like opposites thing. Like, he's all about purpose and determined, and One Punch Man is like, I have fun fighting bad guys, so I'm gonna do that, but I don't know, it's kind of also a little bit boring to me. So it's just kind of it's really cool. It's a really cool story, and I just want to read more, but I also want to make comics, and it's very inspiring to see that kind of storytelling. I think I want to try to remember to incorporate more manga style storytelling into my comics, because I just really enjoy it. I really enjoy that fast pace and simple storytelling that can go deep. Like, I think we start too complicated with stories a lot of times. It's like you have to know so much just to read a comic book. Like, and it's just like, I don't want that. I just want to read a fun story. Please, people, just give me a fun story and make it meaningful, and seriously. Alright, so speaking about fun stories, though, anthologies are super fun. So let's read an anthology story from the Werewolves and Unicorns anthology, and let's see how that goes. Alright, so today it's comic from the Werewolves and Unicorns anthology is Teresa Del Pilar's Q Witch, which I thought was super awesome, super fun. I mean, her illustration style, I just love it so much. And she featured my character from my werewolf character from my Werewolves and Unicorns story, which is so cool. And she drew it so cool, and I just love how this story played out. It's super fun. You guys got to check it out. Teresa's awesome. She's been on my live streams before a lot, and she's just a really cool person. And I'm loving seeing all the work from her and the stories she's working on and stuff like that. So yeah, Werewolves and Unicorns. We got 4 days left, you guys. Everybody, you gotta please share it out. It's the last days, and we really want to get a nice bump here at the end and see if we can really make a mark with this comics, with this anthology and stuff. And we just think it's an awesome community, and it's just fun to really spread out all these like cool stories to everybody. So yeah, I don't know, if you could please like and share this stuff, and use my link, because once again, you will have a chance to help me decide on the theme of the next anthology if I win. All right. So a little update real quick before we get into this little message here is I did work on Lone Wolf today while we were doing the live stream, which was a great live stream. You gotta check it out. And it was really cool. Last night I got some extra time in on Lone Wolf, so right now I finished the page 6. That's what I finished yesterday. And then I also did the rough art, like the rough layout for page 7. And today during the live stream I kind of finished that up, and I also did the rough layout of page 8, and then I started doing some inking on a panel in page 7. So I'm pretty excited, and I think I'm going to get a chance to work on it a little bit more here. So getting a lot of progress finally done on Lone Wolf. It was 3 weeks of like spending, like inching my way towards finishing one page, but now it looks like I'm kind of going full steam ahead again, so that's good. I'm glad. Hopefully I can keep getting to the computer, because that's really the thing. Sometimes stuff keeps me from the computer, but other than that, let's talk about something else here. So speaking about anthologies, let's talk about anthologies. It's easy to kind of take for granted this whole idea of us doing these anthologies for whatever it is. I mean, a lot of people do them to kind of get their foot in the door and get some short stories out so they can learn how to do the craft better and stuff like that. It's a great way to start growing, but the history and legacy, I talked about legacy today in the live stream with Russ Leach and Peter Palmiotti. We had a great stream. You guys got to check that out. It was really good, talking about the legacy of comic books. But anthologies are a huge part of the legacy of comic books. Pretty much all comics up until probably Marvel in the 60s, when they started doing like Fantastic Four and all that. From what I can understand, most comics were anthologies. Even if it was one character, it was still an anthology of multiple stories of that character a lot of times. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but there has been, comic books, for the first beginning of comic books being a thing, were anthologies most of the time. The old EC comics were anthologies, and something that's crazy is, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, the Human Torch, Doctor Strange, like all these characters came out of anthologies. When Superman first came out in Action Comics #1, it wasn't the only story in there. It was just one of the many stories. I don't know how many. Same with Batman. Batman came out in Detective Comics #26 or something like that. So that was already an anthology before Batman even came to it, and that was just one of the stories in the book. It's a great way to test characters, and if you see, find out that there's something, a huge popularity, that's a great way to kind of figure it out. And we do it differently nowadays, sort of, but it's kind of cool because Peter Simeti with Alternate Comics is doing anthologies. He's got a monthly anthology called It Came Out on a Wednesday, and he's also got a quarterly anthology or yearly, I'm not sure. He's got another anthology as well, and I forget what it's called at the moment, but I know it. So there's that, and then a whole, kind of in some ways the salvation of the comics medium itself in some ways, and a whole other area of comics that is huge and even bigger than American comics is manga. And where does the power of manga come from? Anthologies. It's still heavily influenced by the anthologies that are put out. Almost all, if not all, popular manga came out of manga anthologies. Shonen Jump being one of the most well known, but there's many others. So there's a lot to be said for anthologies. I feel like we think of anthologies as lesser, but they're a great way to get a lot of stories in and to test the waters with stories. And I don't know, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty awesome. And it's making me think a little bit. Maybe I should do an anthology series. That would be kind of awesome. Pretty cool. Anyways, a lot of fun stuff to think about and talk about with all this stuff. But there's one anthology I'm working on right now called Lone Wolf, which is up on Indiegogo. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. And of course, the Werewolves and Unicorns anthology. There's some up-and-comers in that book. We're all up-and-comers. And I'm sure we'll all be making our own marks in unique ways, and it'll be really cool to see where all of us are 10 years from now. Who knows? Maybe we'll be the next people doing like big books. Who knows? We'll see. But either way, we're having fun doing what we're doing right now, and we'd love for you guys to be a part of it. So definitely click that link in the description if you want. There's only less than 4 days left. We're about 3.5 days now left until the chance to get into this Werewolves and Unicorns anthology is over. So don't miss your chance. All right, we'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.